Yes. Yes, yes, yes. It is finally over, people. We do not have to watch Arsenal Premier League games for a couple of months. I need a break. I don't know about anybody else, but I need a break from that slow U-shaped football. There's only so much you can watch of it. Let's be honest, Declan Rice free kicks against Real Madrid aside, it's been a pretty average at best season to watch, and today was no different. They say paint watches Arsenal dry. After watching that, I mean, Southampton won, Arsenal 2, and the best part of that game was the final whistle when you knew I can take a break from this, people. Made some changes today. Ben White came in, Zinchenko, Kieran Tierney in his final game scored a really good goal. Proper striker's goal, that near post run, flicks it in with his right foot. Sad to see him leave, to be honest. I feel like we've let a really good player go there. I know injuries and the fact he doesn't invert has gone against him. Terrible that we're not getting any money for him. We should have really sold him with a year left on his deal. Apparently, we actually had the option to extend it for a year. I think if you're ruthless, we could have done that and sold him. But listen, good luck to him at Celtic. Waneri came in. I think we're starting to see with Waneri, even though his natural position is that sort of Odegaard attacking midfield role, his best performances for Arsenal have been right wing. He isolates the defender, he gets 1v1. I think it suits him a lot better. He gets overcrowded in those central areas. As I said, Tierney scored a really good goal. Martin Odegaard, pillow foot, finally, again. This is the crazy thing about Odegaard. Like, he's actually got a good left foot. He's technically very good. He turned into pillar foot this season out of nowhere. And then the last few weeks, all of a sudden, he's got a good shot. So, good goal by him. Gets us the win. Josh Kroenke's there. Berta's there. Tim Lewis, Richard Garlick. Arteta was obviously in the stands. He had the one match ban for the 3 yellow cards. And I think the good thing about today, I'm hoping as a fan, if we'd have beat them 5-0 today, they'd have said everything's rosy in the garden. I think the fact that we struggled and beat them 2-1 right at the end, and it was quite a dull game as well, I'm hoping that gives them that wake up call to say, listen, yeah, we're finishing second. Yeah, we got to Champions League semi final, but we haven't won anything, and we need some more exciting individual brilliance kind of players in this team because I think we're a good team, but to become a great team, I think we need that X factor. We need players that get you on the edge of your seat that can score goals out of nothing. You can't completely rely on the system to create the goal all the time. If you look at in recent years how successful Pep has been at Manchester City, even in Pep's teams with that great system, Mahrez had individual brilliance. Leroy Sané, Aguero could score a goal out of nothing. Now Haaland is that goal scorer, of course. Savinho, I think, has got a lot of individual brilliance, although it hasn't really fulfilled its potential yet. You look at Klopp at Liverpool, great system, but Mane could score out of nowhere. Salah could score. Firmino could score. And I think now we need players like that. We need an Alexis Sanchez that can score, can take players on. Oba could score out of nothing. Van Persie when he was at Arsenal. Fabregas, Nasri. These guys were magic, individual brilliance. We need that. So Arteta needs to start working with Berta instead of thinking that he knows it all, because he seems like a very stubborn person, but he needs to now be willing to learn from other people who've been successful. You look at all the great managers over the years, Ferguson, he had Carlos Queiroz, he had Steve McLaren, he had Phelan. These guys were very good assistants to him. And you look at obviously Pat Rice, the help of David Dean as the sporting director with Arsene Wenger. So he should be looking and saying, look, Berta's got to Champions League finals, won La Liga at Atletico Madrid, competing against Barcelona and Real Madrid's crazy amounts of wealth. So I think now the conversation, it doesn't need to be as much around should we or should we not get rid of Arteta, because whatever your opinion is of that, it's almost an irrelevant question at the moment because he's going nowhere. And you guys know my opinion. I would have replaced him. I think 5 years at a top football club trophyless is totally unacceptable. But we've now got to find the solution to the problem of how to win a trophy. We need a goal scorer. We need a left winger. I think we need a creative player who can play attacking midfield. I'd love to see Eze or somebody like that come to Arsenal. We know Zubamendi's probably going to join, and we know we're going to get a backup goalkeeper when Neto goes. We may even need a defender. So you're looking at maybe 5 or 6 players, and we need to get rid of probably 5 or 6 players as well. So there's a lot of work to do this summer. New contracts as well. Saka, Gabriel, Saliba, hopefully. Um, I have to admit, I'm happy that the season's finished. It's been a very difficult season. And it's crazy because when we finished eighth or when we were finishing fifth, even though there was a lot of frustration, it didn't feel as disappointing as this one because they've built up our hopes and expectations that something's going to happen, and then it hasn't. Where when you finish fifth and eighth, you kind of know nothing's going to happen. So you don't feel as disappointed because you didn't expect anything to happen in the first place. So to be so close, and then you're watching Liverpool lift up the Premier League, and Crystal Palace have got a parade, and parades everywhere. I mean, big up Arsenal ladies, they've got a parade, so we need to take note from them. 6 months apparently that manager has been in charge of the Arsenal ladies team. No phasers, no processors, and no dogs walking around the training ground. Just trophies. And we're 5 years in saying, when's it going to happen? And the manager's telling the fans to be patient. How much patience do you want, my friend? So they've got to get the right players in. Gyökeres won the double tonight. Scored, was asked about Arsenal. Didn't really say no, didn't say yes. Obviously, he's not going to disrespect his club while he's standing on the pitch. Um, I think Arsenal need to make a big move. I think they need to make a move early that lifts all of our beliefs. You look at Liverpool winning the league, and they're about to sign Florian Wirtz for 126 million. Frimpong and Kirkes looking like they're going to join. City are going to make big moves. Chelsea have made the Champions League with Bowley's billions. That reminds me of Brewster's Millions. Richard Pryor, what a film that was, by the way. Bowley's billions. If they were to get a striker, I mean, I see them being linked with Osimhen today. So we can't play around this year. I think, listen, my advice to Arsenal would be go and get Gyökeres signed quickly and announce it early. And it will just give us all that belief in the summer. We'll feel different. Because what we're used to as Arsenal is the season ends, we're disappointed, we get linked with all these big players, and then we don't sign them, and we get the second grade players rather than the top ones. So they actually need to show us how serious they are. I'm glad Josh Kroenke was at the game, and Berta, and they were all there, and they were all talking, and they need to make things happen. Get the business done early and give us something to believe in. Because if I'm seeing Sesko and players like that coming, and players that have got potential that we need to develop, then we know that we're in the same situation and they're not desperate to win. So we'll see. Listen, we'll be doing plenty of other content around season review, end of season awards, all of that stuff. In terms of the game today, I think I didn't even speak about it for long, but it was boring. We won 2-1. We were always going to finish second. And we think about next season now. I'm glad the season's over. How do you guys feel? Is this just a me feeling, or do you guys feel like that? I'm delighted that the season's over. Usually I'm like, oh no, what are we going to do for the next couple months? No, Arsenal. Right now, I am delighted there's no games to watch. I need a break. I need a break, man. I need to just chill. Because the football, the amount of times this season my eyelids have felt like concrete. I could go to sleep watching them play. So hopefully we get, a few signings pre-season and then go again. Big up to everyone who supported the channel throughout this season. Great numbers in every watch along. Loads of interaction. Appreciate all your support. Hopefully we have a more exciting season next season and finally win some trophies. Since I've had this channel properly and been streaming, we haven't won a trophy. Nothing. I haven't ever had an Arsenal Cup final on this channel to do a watch along to, which is just absolutely crazy. So, Yeah, I'm hoping next year we've got a cup final or we're lifting a Premier League. So big up to everyone. Enjoy the summer break. Hopefully you'll tune into all the transfer videos and hopefully we'll do some decent business and then pre-season tour and see what happens. Take care. I'll see you all soon, people. Bless.